Donnie No Deals. That's my nickname for him. The guy's the worst deal maker of all time. He was never a builder. He's always a destroyer. He's done no deals in 90 days so far. He's bragging that he's super close to doing a deal with South Korea. There's already a free trade deal with South Korea where there's no tariffs. So what are you going to do? You're just going to say, we did the deal. It's the deal we already did. Look, Americans are sick and tired of Donald Trump. People see what's happening with their pensions and 401ks. People see the volatility and how Donald Trump is just not emotionally equipped to be near a position of leadership. The guy every morning does panic posts. He lies whenever he opens up his mouth. Take a look at the new Reuters Ipsos poll. It is historically low right now. Only 37% of Americans approve of Donald Trump's handling of the economy under this poll. Just 37% right now. When you take a look at all of the other crosstabs, it could not be worse for Donald Trump. Also, if you look at the Fox News poll, and I put news in quotes, Donald Trump is underwater on the issue of immigration. 48% of Americans disapprove in the Fox poll. Fox! Of Donald Trump's handling of immigration. Only 47% approve. And as Donald Trump keeps saying, oh, we're really close to making a deal, we're really close to making a deal, take a look at what AFP news agency out of France is reporting. And yesterday was day 13. U.S. President Donald Trump's promise of securing trade deals with major partners took another blow on Thursday, with a French minister saying an agreement with the EU was, quote, a long way off, and China insisting talks had not even started. But Donald, you and your Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent have been saying in private meetings that you've been speaking to Xi Jinping and y'all are close to making a deal. Oh, wait, those are secret closed-door meetings that the media and the public is not invited to. Then you leak that information out when the insiders buy all of the stock and they get rich while you screw over the rest of us, Donald, and the oligarchs at Mar-a-Lago and in the White House. It is utterly pathetic. And look, I've said this before and let me say it again. When you look at freight volumes right now, when you look at trucking volumes right now, they are going down, down, down. If you look at what's happening at our ports, ships aren't coming in anymore. Empty vessels are being canceled. It is a major problem. We're seeing CEOs of companies like Target, Walmart, Home Depot try desperately to have interventions with Donald Trump. We're heading into a summer of scarcity where there's not going to be products on the shelf. And you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out why. We do about $2 trillion in trade with China every year. There's now a kind of mutual embargo taking place where the Chinese market is closed to America. The American market is closed to China. That's going to hurt America far more than it's going to hurt China. And China and Xi Jinping, I hate to admit it, they are smartly outmaneuvering Donald Trump at each and every step. They're going to Europe and trying to do a détente with Europe, bring their electric vehicles there. They're reaching out to Australia. And China's pitch is simple. Donald Trump's a crazy man. We're a more stable hand. Let's reset our relations and let's isolate the United States right now. That's what's going down. I study every day the container ship sailings, freight volumes, trucking volumes. And I'm watching what the CEOs are actually saying, not what the insider trading and market manipulators are doing on a day-to-day basis. And it's a big problem right now. Look, Mark Short right here, who is the former chief of staff to former Vice President Pence, he went on CNN and he's like, oh my God, when Donald Trump keeps changing these tariffs off, tariff off, tariff on, tariff off, tariff on, escalation, escalation. He's like, do y'all realize the utter weakness this shows? This guy's conservative, Republican, Mark Short. Let me play this clip. Let's play it.
He really wants this before his first 100 days, and it does seem like he's willing to give up almost everything for it.
Well, I think something else. I think it looks really weak which I think is something the president does not like, that image. But right now, I think he looks weak in these negotiations. But I think we're also forgetting, that when Russia invaded, the sort of general wisdom was that Russia will overtake Ukraine in a matter of days or weeks. They survived for 3+ years and actually were degrading Russia's military significantly. Russia was needing Iran to provide drones, China to provide money, North Korea to provide troops. And so Ukraine was more than holding its own if they just were to get support from the world to say, we're going to stop a murderous dictator from invading our country.
And here, Justin Wolfers explains the real reason why Trump and Bessent said today that their first deal was likely going to be with South Korea. Take it away, Wolfers.
We already have a free trade agreement with Korea. We've had one for nearly 20 years. Almost all trade between the United States and Korea is tariff-free and has been for over a decade.
And again, it was so utterly pathetic during one of the press conferences Donald Trump held yesterday when he was asked by a reporter that China is saying, Trump, that it's fake news, Trump, that trade talks are happening, that you're lying, that trade talks are not happening, Donald. Here's what Donald Trump said.
Question on China. Can you clarify with whom the U.S. is speaking with China? They're saying it's fake news that trade talks are happening.
Well, they had a meeting this morning, so I can't tell you. It doesn't matter who they is. We may reveal it later, but they had meetings this morning, and we've been meeting with China. And so I think you have, Jeff, as usual, I think you have your reporting wrong. Thank you very much. We'll see you. We'll see you in.
Oh, I'm not going to tell you who they are. Why would I tell you who they are? Okay, Xi Jinping, the Chinese foreign minister, the Chinese commerce minister, all saying that there are no conversations, and they said they're not going to speak with you in the United States until the unilateral tariffs are removed. China's also said it will strongly and powerfully retaliate against any country that conspires with the United States to try to hurt Canada as part of a trade deal with the U.S. China's saying, look, you want to do a trade deal with the U.S., do a trade deal with the U.S., be my guest. But if it involves attacking China as part of Donald Trump's whatever plan is, by the way, Trump's attacking your sovereignty, Europe, Canada, and elsewhere, then they're like, well, we're going to have to retaliate against you. What do you expect? Now, who do I trust here? I mean, I'm just trying to think. It's sad to say that you clearly can't trust Donald Trump in this discussion. The guy lies about everything. He's a felon. He's a fraud. He's a sexual abuser. He's a bankrupter. He's a disgusting, vile piece of crap trash. That's who he's a trash human being. Just let's say it. Like, let's not hide it. Oh, no. He's trash. He's garbage. Take a look right here when Donald Trump at the Oval Office yesterday is lying again after saying last Friday that egg prices were down 94%. Now he gives a more conservative number. He says egg prices are down 87% and groceries are so low right now. People are so grateful. They're saying, Trump, we're so grateful for you, Trump. Here, play this clip.
You know, if you look at what happened, everyone said, oh, I said I was going to get prices down. I did. Energy just hit $1.98 in a couple of states. It's way down. Energy's down, and we're about $64 a barrel. When I came in, and we were looking at $89, $90, $95. And by the way, that helps us solve the war too. Having those energy prices is a big incentive for Russia to also agree with solving the war problem. Groceries are down. When I was with you 2 months ago, you were complaining about eggs. I said, I just got here. I was here for about a week when the press started saying about eggs have gone through the roof. I said, I just got here. Tell me about eggs. And they happened. They went through the roof and you couldn't get them. So we just had a big Easter egg hunt at the White House, thousands and thousands of eggs, and the price was down 87%. So we did a great job.
Okay, egg prices are high. For Easter, they were at record highs. Grocery prices are high. People are suffering, you freaking idiot, Donald, and your kakistocracy regime. It's a bunch of morons there, and dangerous ones as well. So while Donald Trump is manipulating the market, manipulating his meme coins, saying the top 220 people who hold my meme coins, you get to meet me, you get access. And then the meme coin goes up and the meme coin goes down. Donald Trump and his son Eric, What are they doing? They're wearing Trump 2028 hats. Okay, you want to wear Trump 2028 hats? Should we wear Obama 2028 hats? That's what you're selling on the Trump store, Trump 2028. Just pathetic people. And speaking about pathetic people, yesterday Trump was whining on social media. Rupert Murdoch, you have fake pollsters. They're fake pollsters right there. People are sick and tired of this crap. Tourism from Europe's basically shut down to the United States. Tourism from Canada's basically shut down to the United States. The CEO of Southwest Airlines says the airlines are already in a major recession. He goes, call it what you want. We're in a recession right now. Goldman Sachs has revised its forecast. It sees negative GDP the same way the Atlanta Federal Reserve sees negative GDP. The concession all around it. And Goldman was the only one of the ones that I read that was still forecasting a modest increase of GDP, right around 1%, slightly less. Had Donald Trump done nothing and just left former President Biden's economy on auto drive, GDP in quarter one would have grown by like 4%. 4% if Donald Trump literally did nothing. It's why I've said, if we actually had the cast of The Apprentice running the country versus Donald Trump, and they did nothing, we'd be in far better hands than where we are right now. And then internationally, you think we're more safe with Pete Hegseth? I don't think so at all. I mean, you know, these stories aren't getting enough attention, but you're aware that MQ-9 Reaper drones have been shot down by the Houthis in Yemen like over and over again. I think we're up to number 7 of the MQ-9 Reapers being shot down by the Houthis in Yemen since like March 3rd. Well, what happened around then? What happened? Oh, were you involved in those sending classified war plans on your Signal app, Pete Hegseth, that you claim, oh, that's okay. Oh, there's nothing wrong with me doing that. Seriously? We now learn today that Hegseth had an unsecured internet line set up in his office called a dirty line. They call it a dirty line in his office to connect to Signal. Defense Secretary Hegseth had an internet connection that bypassed the Pentagon's security protocols. By the way, I'm not sure if you saw the interview that I did with the former deputy press secretary from the Pentagon, Sabrina Singh, and she was telling me about how the Houthis and all of these groups engage in transactions, acquisitions off the dark web to buy data and information like this, that they are clearly trying to hack into people like Hegseth, but Hegseth is too big of a moron to actually even give a crap. And speaking of America being less safe abroad in the world, being less stable, of course, we all know that Donald Trump did not bring peace to Ukraine in 24 hours as he promised. That was a Donald Trump lie. More on that in just a moment. But I think an important story that not a lot of people are covering that we should is that the ceasefire between Pakistan and India is significantly in doubt right now, whether the ceasefire still exists, which had held for a long period of time over a recent incident that occurred in the Kashmir region, which both Pakistan and India claim. So J.D. Vance, he met with the Pope, and then the Pope passed away a day later. J.D. Vance was then in India, and then there was this terrorist attack in Kashmir. India blames a terrorist group aligned with Pakistan. Pakistan says we had nothing to do with it, and they're pointing fingers back at India. India cut off the water from the Indus. Pakistan views that as an act of war, and there's a Cold War turning very hot right now in that region. But Donald Trump promised when he gets into power, none of that's going to happen. And part of the reason also why I think you have a cold to hot war taking place is that America's position as a leader and what our State Department and what our Defense Department would normally do in a situation like this is totally compromised. Donald Trump wants to cut a trade deal with India so badly that the U.S. can't even try to, be a neutral mediator in a situation like this, or an effective one, because Trump's just trying to chase a trade deal to try to claim 90 deals in 90 days when Donald Trump reversed the existing trade deals that are already in place. Donald Trump yesterday said the following. I'll leave you with this one. Donald Trump said the following about, he said, Zelensky and Putin both want peace. You know, Putin is the one who invaded Ukraine, not the other way around, you moron. And this past week, Putin continues to send ballistic missiles to kill innocent Ukrainians each and every day. And it was a recent event in Kyiv. I know that Marco Rubio wants to say the war needs to stop because these missiles are dropping. They're being sent by Putin, who invaded a sovereign nation, Ukraine. So cut the crap, Donald and Rubio. Play this clip.
Mr. President, on Russia, do you still believe that Putin is serious about peace given the events overnight in Ukraine? And if that bombing doesn't end, are you considering new sanctions on Russia?
So we are thinking that very strongly that they both want peace, but they have to get to the table. We're waiting a long time. They have to get them to the table, and I think we're going to get peace. We want to save 5,000 young people. I used to say 2,500. I now say 5,000. We have, Mr. Prime Minister, we have about 5,000 young people a week that are dying in that ridiculous war. And, I started out because I didn't like all the money that we were paying, and then I realized how many people were dying. And that's by far the more important element right now. I'm saying we can save thousands of people. And I don't like that it takes long at all. But I think they both want to make peace. I do believe so. There's a lot of hatred there. There's a lot of very bad blood, a lot of distrust. But I think I hope we're going to get there for the sake of a lot of young people that are dying.
Well, there you have it, folks. Trump's approval plummeting. No deal, Donald. Bad deal, Donald. Weak, pathetic Donald. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 5 million subscribers.
New Midas merch drop. Check out the latest pro-democracy sticker packs, t-shirts, hats, sweatshirts, and more. All at store.MeidasTouch.com.